world is burning. Yeah, a bit of a gloomy title for the channel, but I'm a big believer that things are going to get worse before they get better. I particularly want to focus on the economic side of things. I'm not really interested in the political. There's other people on YouTube who are doing a better job of that. Don't really want to dip my toes into that. I just want to look at people's finances, the decisions people are making, and I kind of want to document over time how things are kind of going with the world in regards to finances. And I think the best place to start, in my opinion, one of the biggest issues people have these days are the car payments that they're signing up for. So we'll start up with my boy Dave. Let's get going.
$3,200 in car payments?
Instantly outrageous. You shouldn't be having $32K in car payments.
Oh my gosh! What are you driving?
It's a Rolls-Royce Ghost.
I guess. Oh my gosh, what is your income?
Yeah, nice car, Rolls-Royce Ghost. Really, really nice car. It's a hell of a lot of payment though.
Dude?
Around $320,000 a month.
Phenomenal. A month?
Yeah.
A month.
Yeah.
Are you?
Fair play to this guy. He's making $320 a month, so he can obviously afford the car. But what I don't get is, if you're pulling in that much every month, why are you doing it on finance? I mean, this guy either is even saying, why has he got a payment on that? But
Are you pulling my leg?
No, I started a digital marketing company, and that's my pre-tax monthly income.
okay, so that's pre-tax monthly income, but end of the day, you can just save up for like a good amount of months and potentially purchase that car outright. $3,200 a month though, just to have that coming off you, I don't want that.
Making $3 million a year, almost $4 million a year.
Pre-tax, yeah.
How old are you?
24.
That's just insane.
That's an absolute 0.01% earner there. If he's actually pulling in that money at that age range, I think guys, they hit the financial stride around 40 years old. So yeah, that's outrageous if he's pulling that much in. But yeah, you should just buy that car outright.
Congratulations. Listen, write a check and pay for the car and smile while you're driving it. 32.
What happens when someone can't make car payments? What happens afterwards? After repossession, you might still owe a deficiency balance. That's probably going to be charged off. It'll show up on your report as a charge-off, and they might sue you for the remaining balance. Not being able to pay a car loan is, it's bad. Bad situation. What happens when someone can't make...
Yeah, you want to be careful, guys. You always want to be able to make your car payments, and before you sign anything, you have to really think about what you're signing on for and how long you're signing on for. I've seen these car payments, back in the day it used to be 2-3 years standard. Now it's 5, 6, 7 years that they're giving you options for. You're just paying interest for all those months, all those years, and it really adds up, and you got to really take into account, will I still have a job? You know, can I pay this if things go wrong? Because you don't want to be in this situation where they start repoing things off you.
A lot of people getting behind on car payments is the result of a perfect financial storm. We have inflation, rising gas prices, but also the unintended consequences of federal relief programs back during the pandemic. Unfortunately, with rising gas prices and inflation, more of us are rethinking what we drive and the payments that go with it.
And we're talking on average 15,000 repos a day nationwide.
That's insane. 15,000 daily. So there's so many people who are just up to their eyeballs in this car debt, and it's really holding them down. And if you don't pay it, they're just going to take it back, and that's 15,000 a day. That's a lot.
Repos all but vanished during the pandemic because banks were working with car owners to defer payments. But those days are ending, and banks are about to drop a repo bomb in the next few months.
Yeah, and here's the thing, we got to get out of this COVID mindset. Things were so different in COVID. It almost wasn't real world. They were doing sort of rent moratoriums, they were doing repo moratoriums where it sort of bought you a bit of time. But they don't care anymore. They want the money or they want the cars back. So it's going to start hitting.
While it may not look good, economist Mike Pequeen says it's not a worrisome trend because most of the repos are cars purchased when people were flush with pandemic stimulus money.
And people were making economic decisions based on strange economics about how much they had in their pocket, which was not a sustainable amount of money.
And that's the thing, I've heard stories of loads of people getting approved on Hellcats and getting real expensive cars, and they were basing what they could borrow on the money that they were getting from the government in the economic stimulus checks. But that's not an income that you're getting from a job. You know, that was going to end up one day, that was going to stop. So, yeah, it's hitting.
An upside to the repossession surge. As more repos hit the market, he says it could help bring down the prices on used cars. And we saw those used car prices during the pandemic spike.
People can't afford their car payments, and the banks are starting to freak out. Check this out. BMO, one of the biggest banks in Canada, is no longer doing auto loans because their bad debt, which means people that aren't paying, is gotten so high. To show you just how fast and how bad it's gotten, it's more than tripled to almost $500 million in just the last year.
Yeah, it's not just the people who were borrowing the money. The banks have got themselves in a bit of a hot situation here because they were just lending out left, right, and center, and these are bad debts. These aren't good debts, and it's gonna come and hit them. I mean, look at Sasquatch here in the comments. I'm sitting pretty in my $1,600 shitbox. That ain't a bad way to do it. I've got an old car I own outright. I don't have any car payments. And because I don't have the car payments, I can put that money to something else, investments, I can pay off things. So yeah, you don't want to be just saddled with this debt.
There's an article from the Globe and Mail in the middle of June. You can see people are falling behind on credit cards and car loans. So why are they panicking? Well, we know that used car prices over the last 5 years are up 44%, which is ridiculous. Now, let's take a look and say you bought a car a year ago. That car has dropped so much in value, not just your normal depreciation curve, but they dropped 22% in the EV category in just the last year. Now we're starting to see used car prices come down. You can see by this chart here, the average transaction, prices are now starting to fall. So think of this scenario. You lend someone money on a...
Yeah, this sucks for the people who took out the money in during those inflated prices. I mean, people were getting screwed. I mean, because the supply chain dried up, people were charging way too much for cars, and they're happy to sign on for them, and they're getting stung with it now, with the depreciation. But we really do need the prices to come down for everyone else. So, yeah, not good.
Tesla Model 3 at $73,000 last July. That car now is selling for $37,000. The person's not making payments. They turn in that car, it's getting repoed. You're taking some heavy, heavy losses because they haven't even put a dent in those payments if they've only made payments for the last 12 or 16 months. That is what's happening, and that's why these banks are starting to get nervous. What do you think? Is this something we should be concerned about? I'd love to.
Yeah, and I know we all want to say eat the rich and we don't care if the banks are nervous, but we actually kind of should care about that because they always just pass it on to us. They pass on the costs to us. They find a way to screw the people in the end. So yeah, we don't want the banks losing everything, even though I know that sounds kind of crazy.
Know your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that follow button, hit that like button.
For free bills as well. So it's $660 in 2 days in tickets.
Yeah, I feel your pain. I feel your pain.
Big thank you to Daniela who helped me out and sent me this screenshot. Amazing. So this $250 new vehicle payment that is going to be changed to the $750 from the end of February, so basically from the beginning of March. Now what's going to happen, if you've already received a new vehicle payment of $250, you'll get an extra $500 and we'll start to pay this from the beginning of March 2023. So you'll make your total payment $750. So it's for people who've already received the $250 as well as ongoing. You do not need to contact them. They'll sort that out in the next month or two of when that's happening. So you're only going to get this new vehicle payment once. It's just to remind that you'll not receive another payment then for your next lease. But it's good news for people who've already had the $250. You're going to be receiving another $500.
Yeah, for anyone outside of the UK does have a pretty good mobility for disabled people scheme where they will I'll give you money or pay for a car for you in some instances. One of the good things that the UK government actually does. Yeah, so shout out to that.
It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. 13, 14, 1,200 on cars? On...
Agreed. So dumb. So dumb. If you're going over $1,000 a month for your car payment, you really got to have a good job where you can afford it. But yeah, I'd just be so nervous if I had to pay that every single month.
one vehicle. The car payment, that is the thing. That is the gap that keeps the middle class from becoming and building wealth. The average car payment, $717 for one person. And if you invested that money just over 30 years at a 10% rate, that's over $1.4 million. It's the dumbest thing I've...
Yeah, I mean, she's really on something here. The car payment, especially if you're, over £700, £800, £900 or dollars a month, that's money that you can't put to investments because you have to just pay it to drive around. And the compound growth, when you're young, that is the best time in your life you will ever get to hit your compound growth. So you really don't want to be tied up in something where you're having to pay out every single month, where you have to nickel and dime the investments. It should really be the other way around.
Never heard.
You're worried about making your car payment? You might want to watch this. My name is Paige Sparks. I'm an employment lawyer, but my law partner does a lot of consumer protection law, so like illegal car repossessions. Given the current market and interest rates, we are anticipating a lot of repos to happen this coming year. During the pandemic, a lot of cars were sold to people that had no business buying it. They didn't do the proper checks. They didn't even check credit or finish all the paperwork for some of our repo cases we have right now.
Yeah, that's what I was telling you guys. This is going to really start coming up. There was a lot of people who got approved for loans and got given the loans for cars that they really shouldn't have been approved for. And it was really during that COVID time where things got a little bit squirrely and they were just signing things off dead quick. Yeah, this is coming.
Missing a car payment is embarrassing, but don't let the repo people bully you and make sure you know your rights. The repo companies have a ton of rules they have to follow because they're repossessing property. So for example, if they don't send the proper notice before they repossess the car, it may be an illegal repossession. If they threaten you or disturb the peace in any way while they're repossessing the car, that's another violation. If your car gets illegally repossessed, don't be embarrassed. Talk with a consumer protection lawyer and let them know everything that happened. That way they can see if there was any violation of law. If there was a violation, we can seek certain damages like asking for your car back, your stuff back, and then additional money for your attorney's fees and the inconvenience since they broke a law. Let me know what other questions you have about this and we can try to get Sam.
Yeah, good info from Paige here. If you are in this situation, I hope you're not, but yeah, it sounds like there's going to be a lot of people entering this situation. Really read up on it and know your law, know the law, know your rights. People are going to try to take advantage of people, but they shouldn't be doing that. So yeah, give her a follow as well. Good info from Paige.
How the hell are people making these car payments? By the way, here's how I want you to look at this.
$575.
Where do you see it? $575 is a payment. Okay, so that's what? That's at the average price of a car 3 years ago, which was $32K. Okay, and we're using 3% interest rate. Payment is $575.
No money down. No money down.
Which is no money down. Fine. Now go.
Yeah, the no money down guys, really be careful when you're doing that because it really racks the price up for things in the long run. Like, you shouldn't be financing the down payment. If anything, you got to really tighten your belt straps, save up that down payment, and it'll pay off in the end. Shout out PBD and the team, though. Love the guy.
To take that $32,000, make it $47,000. $919.
Jesus Christ.
So let me get this straight.
Never, ever, ever, please don't be signing up to a $919 payment every month. Oh God, my palms are getting sweaty just thinking about that.
It's like two cars.
You went from $575 to $919. The income hasn't increased.
No.
How the hell are people making these?
Everyone felt very, very wealthy from stimulus payments, PP loans, unemployment benefits. Stocks were going up, crypto was going up, everything was going up. The world was a lot easier. That's when people were making a lot of buying decisions. Well, at the same time, new car interest rates, 9.48%. A couple years ago, might have been 3%, 4%.
3%, 4% isn't the worst interest rate. You really think, people, before you're signing up to anything that's, over 6, 7%, 9%. That is intense.
It's a 60-month loan term. You put nothing down, which is, believe it or not, that's the norm now. It's $839.
That shouldn't be the norm. Please, I know I sound like I'm begging here. Don't make that the norm in your life.
Per month. Well, look at this. They roll in taxes, tags, dealer fees. Everything goes into the loan. 125% is the average loan to value. 84-month loan terms. So, I mean, look at this. At that same exact time, Auto insurance rates skyrocketing nationwide. That was 2 days ago. Well, look at this. NerdWallet. Everyone felt very...
Yeah, guys, that's just really harrowing stuff to hear. A 125% loan to value on a car. Cars depreciate. You're gonna be so underwater if anything goes wrong. You're already underwater with 125% loan to value. I've heard tales like he's just said there of people making the loans want to roll everything into the loan because it's better for them. It's not good for you. It's great for them. So yeah, be very careful with what you're signing, people.
Guys, so I've picked out my new mobility car. I'm absolutely buzzing. So I've gone for the Kia. So I do have to put a bit of a down payment on it. It's like 2,000 and something. But then my mobility side pays for the rest. And get it all. Yeah, it's brand new. Absolutely buzzing. Me and the girls will be driving in style.
Yeah, that's what I mean, guys. The British mobility thing's pretty good if you've got some sort of disability that you qualify for. I actually don't know too much about it. I've heard these things where you can get, you know, heavily subsidized cars through the government if you've got some sort of disability.
Most of them drive Mercedes-Benz, Range Rovers, G-Wagons, GTIs. That car on its own is nothing less than 700,000.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Maintenance on that car, insurance on that car, monthly repayments, okay? And then you still have the guts to eat at fancy restaurants, champagne, all your posts is champagne. I mean, you can't pop a bottle every day. And then a Gucci bag people think is 15,000. It's not. It's 70,000 rand.
Wow.
And you have 10 and 15 of those. What job are you doing? You want to tell me that small little water campaign where you're posting a water bottle or a face wash gives you $1 million? Most of them drive.
She's right. I mean, there's a lot of people living above their means here. If you can afford it and you're, you know, one of the 1%ers who have the money to do that, you know, I'm not hating on you. I'm not going to hate on anyone. But I think a lot of people live above their means these days. I'm going to give you a big shout out. There's a guy, Red Leather Podcast, Jack. He says this all the time. A man with no bills is a rich man. And that hits hard. That hits hard to me. So yeah, you want to get your bills as low as possible. You don't want to be flexing for the gram. Oh God.
Happy Sunday, guys. I don't know what to think. I just got done reading this CNBC report on car payments, and here, just let me show it to you real quick. Here it is. Are you buying too much car?
Yes, people buy far too much car. They don't want to be seen in a smaller car. They always have to go for the higher options. Everyone's buying too much car. I'll answer that for him.
Are you buying too much car? I mean, the average car payment in America now is well over $500 to $700 a month. And in this article, people are spending so much money on the upgrades and the next level up, whether it's the ABC option or the XYZ. And it's unbelievable, but people are spending over $1,000 now on current cars and trucks and SUVs. That is crazy. The article went on to say that the interest rate to finance these purchases for new cars is up 15%, and that monthly payment is over $1,000. Guys, how are we going to retire? How are we going to put money to work to invest?
Yeah, and I think my friends are sick of me saying it to him, but I'm so focused on thinking of retirement now, and that's kind of what you have to think about. Like, don't spend the money now. Save it, invest it. Buy something tangible, put your money where it's going to work for you, because you want to retire, because we're going to hit an epidemic of people who just can't afford to retire, and that's going to be the most tragic thing of all. Just having to work for all your life is just brutal.
Best to get out of the rat race. The whole goal for this channel is I'm trying to help you guys focus on what's most important, and that is getting that money to work for you, not for the bank or the car dealership.
Amen, brother. Amen.
This is insane to me. And look at this part of the article. I mean, maybe you have a friend or a family member doing the same thing. But I mean, adding up all of these add-ons to trucks, like for example, Fords, we've had this discussion. People go up to the Roush or the Raptor, and they're paying upwards to $100,000 for these trucks. Guys, it's a truck. It's meant to provide you utility. What in the world is $100,000 doing for you? I mean, I have a lot of friends that are accountants or in white-collar jobs, and they're not hauling a boat. They're not hauling any heavy equipment, and I'm like, why do you need a 250 diesel and paying over close to $100,000 for these things? I mean, just check out this chart real quick on an average base price of a vehicle, and then when you do all the add-ons. Insane. I mean,
yeah, that's where they get you on the add-ons. That's where they get you. I mean, they'll advertise this price. This is the price they always advertise, and in small letters, it'll say it's starting from. And you don't realize that, but then when you go and you put all your options on that you want, before you know it, 30% 30% edition.
Before we upgrade 40% on the vehicle, can we at least upgrade our retirement accounts by 40%? I mean, is that...
Preach, brother. I don't know who this guy is. Hello, Matthew Long. Talking truth.
Too hard to ask for? No. So check it out. You should be keeping your transportation expenses between 10 and 15%. I prefer 10. So if you're making like $60,000 and you got a $1,000 car payment, you've exceeded that limit. We need to bring that down. If we could...
Yeah, and the sad thing is most people are hitting 20, 25, maybe even 30%, which is just outrageous. Before you've even eaten, before you've paid your mortgage or your rent or anything like that, 30% of your money could be going to just a car.
Cut that $1,000 to $500 and invest the down payment, say $5,000 that you were going to put in that vehicle over 30 years at 8% on an index fund. This is how much money you'd have over 30 years. So I want to close with this thought, guys. We all have a shelf life. We can't work forever. Cars are meant to go from A to B for the most part. Focus on working your money and not working to make a car payment, please.
Yeah, I've never seen this guy before. Hello, Matthew Long. But yeah, spitting facts. So I'll do one more, guys, and then I'll end it. Let's see what we got.
Americans are now paying an average of $700 a month on their cars. If you need any more evidence that the car industry is a giant bubble, look no further than this. You should not be financing a car for more than 4 years. If that payment's too high, then you can't afford.
Couldn't agree with that anymore. You'll see on all the websites now when you're putting in your finance and you're trying to figure out on the finance calculators, I've seen some of them go up to 8, 9 years. You do not want to be going over 3 or 4 years. The monthly payments might be higher, but just to get the monthly payments down, you're tied into a contract, and you don't want to be doing that.
Afford the car. Americans are now paying an average of.
Okay, guys. Well, I'll leave it there this time. But yeah, the world is burning. I'm going to be doing a lot more of these videos, focusing on different areas of the cost of living, the economic crisis people are going to be going through. Yeah, covering it really. So yeah, give me a follow. I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comments. You know, let me know what car. I'd love to know what car you're driving, what year it is, and how much you're paying monthly. Or if you've got one that you've bought outright, please put that in the comments as well. I genuinely want to know what people are paying. This isn't just me giving information out to you guys or going through these videos. I actually kind of want to get a bit of info from people on the ground. So yeah, drop a comment in the bottom, give me a like, give me a follow. There'll be more of these videos to come. See you later.